and welcome back, or welcome for the first time. My name is Alana and today I will be showing you how to get closer to your Chaturanga. So firstly, know that yoga is not about contortioning yourself and getting your body into these interesting shapes so you can take cool pictures for Instagram. It's a lot more than that, but we know that. So that being said, Chaturanga is a very functional pose as it is. It features in every single vinyasa, it features in the sun salutations, and it's a very solid base for a lot of arm balances as well. So if you always wanted to be able to do a Chaturanga and you're not quite there yet, maybe you're still very far from it, doesn't even matter, this video is for you. So before jumping in, just grab a block or two and a strap if you have one. Then I'll meet you on your mat. We'll start with a demo of the correct alignment in Chaturanga Dandasana, so I'll demo that for you, and then I'll invite you to join me on your mat for a few of the exercises. Okay, so the setup for Chaturanga Dandasana, normally we enter from a high plank. So I'll first take you through the setup for high plank. So you want to, if you stretch your arms out like this, where your wrists are, literally directly under them, if you draw a line from your wrist to the floor, that's the distance that you want your hands and your feet to be from each other. Okay, so in your plank, like this, the distance between my hands and my feet are the distance that I just showed you underneath my wrists. Okay, then you want your hands underneath your shoulders, so shoulder width distance apart, and your feet you ideally want hips width distance apart, so that's 2 fists in between. I think my stance might be a little bit narrower, so it can be a bit wider or narrower, depending on your preference. Then you want to spread your fingers as wide as you can, really grip into the mat. And then in high plank, we all know the alignment. You want your shoulders over your elbows, over your wrists, and your whole body is in a straight line. Your shoulder blades are protracting, so going away from each other. Squeeze your bumps, squeeze your abs, and draw your kneecaps up so that you have active legs as well. So that is your high plank. Then from high plank, a very, very important step, and maybe this is why you're going wrong in your Chaturangas and why you can't reach them. So the first very, very important step is to lean forward. Can you see that my shoulders aren't over my wrists anymore? Then the second very, very vital thing is to remember that your elbows and your ribs are lovers. So they want to kiss. Keep them kissing, then you'll be good. Okay. So from high plank, usually on an inhale, roll forward onto the tippy toes. So you can see I'm on my tippy toes so that my shoulders can come over my wrists. Then from here, elbows into ribs, lower down halfway. To know that you are the right distance from the floor, they should be able to fit a block in between you and the floor. Obviously this is just a rough estimate because all of our arm and body lengths do differ. I'm quite tall, so I will be placing the block on the high side, and then you'll see I'm just doing my normal Chaturanga Dandasana next to it, but when I'm there, the block fits between my body and the floor. Okay, so in your Chaturanga, that's exactly the same, everything I mentioned in high plank. So shoulder blades away from each other, your shoulders relaxed down and away from your ears, active legs, draw the abs in, contract the bum, and then you should be good to go. The gaze, I'm just lengthening the neck. The gaze is just down to the top of your mat. I'll show you one more time. So an entire straight line with your body. You can then also imagine someone putting your forehead and your feet in 2 different directions. So you are lengthening out your body. Okay. So that is kind of the alignment that we are going for. You'll also see, let me do it another time, you'll see that with your arms, you're aiming to make a 90-degree angle. You never want to go lower than that. So that is the perfect Chaturanga, is when you can find that 90-degree angle. That's why I'm saying all of our arm lengths are different. And even if you're slightly higher, so if it looks something like this, that's also fine. There's the 90-degree angle, you don't want to be here. Okay. And yeah, I think that was that for the demo. So I now invite you to join me on your mat with your blocks and your strap, and then I'll show you some exercises. When you're ready, you can join me on your mat, so knees on your mat, and then from there you can step into a high plank. Don't worry, we won't hold it here. From your high plank, just lower your knees down. so that you know where to place your knees. Okay, so your knees are together, feet are together. And you can see this is the high plank alignment, so my entire arm, sorry for losing my balance, my entire arm is in one straight line. Okay, then what was the first vital step of Chaturanga? Staying on your knees, leaning forward. Then elbows into the ribs, remember the levers, and going down. So this would be the first exercise. Just doing half Chaturangas on your knees. Again, you don't have to go all the way, so maybe just do the leaning forward, feel how that feels. Keep a micro bend in your arms, so we're not locking out the arms and leaning forward like this. Keeping a straight upper body, slight micro bend in the elbows, leaning forward, feel how the weight feels, grip into your mat, and then maybe just try to experiment with bending your elbows a bit. Maybe you go all the way, and then you can come up. If that is also okay to you, and you want to experiment with bearing the weight of your upper body into your arms even more, then you can lift one of your feet up. So keeping the knee on the floor, just lifting the foot up, and then if you're ready, the other one as well. And you can see now I didn't even go down, just maybe in any case try that. So just feel what it feels like, the difference between staying here, lifting one foot, and lifting both feet. And then maybe go down and come up. My arms are already firing up. So that is just to get a feel of the weight that goes into your arms. Okay, then another option would be from high plank to just soften your elbows. Just bend into it as much as you can and just stay here. Obviously planks are very good practice tools if you want to one day be able to hold the Chaturanga. So just forearm plank, high plank, any of those. So even if you can't bend your elbows at all, if a normal high plank is where you stay, then stay here, see how long you can hold it. See if every time you practice it, if you can hold it a little longer. Otherwise, slightly bend your elbows. Then you might have seen this in some vinyasa demos. I'm not going to show knees, chin, chest option at all. Know that that is valuable. It's totally fine if you do that during your vinyasas. Nothing wrong with it, but that is a separate exercise. It doesn't have the same feel or benefits in the body at all. So that's why I'm not going to show it here, because we are focusing on this weight in the upper body. Okay, so if you can't do full Chaturanga, and you don't want to do knees, chest, chin, you still want to, knees, chin, chest, sorry. You still want to build that upper body strength, but you're not there yet. What you can do is you can lower yourself down in one straight line. So from plank, again, leaning forward first, elbows into ribs, lowering yourself down in one straight line. So your whole body touches the floor at the same time. And then once you're comfortable with doing this, then you can do it slower and slower and slower. So I invite you that if you have a regular vinyasa practice, to maybe try some of these, just in your vinyasa flow, and see if you can build strength over time. So I'll show you one last time this last option. From your plank, if you can lower down all the way but really slow, you can almost pause in a Chaturanga and then go down. So even if you can't hold it there for very long, but you get that split second or two or half a second maybe, just get the feel of it, that will be good too. Okay, then the next exercises I'll show you, you're going to need your blocks. So get them closer. Okay, so your first option with the blocks is to place them where your hands would be. You can place them on any height which feels comfortable to you, maybe even the highest height. And then you'll literally do your Chaturanga with your hands on the blocks. So what this does is it elevates your upper body, putting most of the weight in your lower body, which for most of us, we are a bit stronger in our legs and our lower body. So this helps, so you don't feel that entire weight in your upper body, but this helps you to get some feel of what Chaturanga could be like. Also know that you can do any combination of these options as well. So keeping your knees down on the mat is always an option. You can combine that with any of the other options. Okay, so placing the blocks where your hands would be, shoulder width distance, so you can see my wrists are exactly underneath my shoulders. Lifting up, roll forward, elbows in and down. Maybe place your blocks a bit back so you can place your wrists in the middle of your blocks, because it almost felt as if my blocks were going to slip away from me. But yeah, this is a little bit more accessible if your lower body is stronger. So maybe try that out as an option. Like I said, you can stay on the knees as well. And just try this as an option. This is actually a very nice first option. So if you feel like Chaturanga is impossibly far away from you and you'll never reach it, maybe try this, starting on your knees with your hands on blocks. And just see if you can lean forward and bend your elbows a little bit. Okay, the next option with blocks is to place your shoulders on the blocks. Again, I'm going with a taller height just because it's about the height of my upper arm, right? So that is where we want our shoulder to be, in that 90-degree angle, right? Well, actually the height of the lower arm then. But as you can see, it's still about a block's width. Okay, so then you do your Chaturanga, your hands just behind your blocks. And this might help. Again, you can do it from your knees, or you can do full Chaturanga. So leaning forward, and then you can just place your shoulders on the blocks. So this can help you get a feel for Chaturanga. And while you're here, don't just chill and be passive. Squeeze those hips, squeeze those bum and the abs, pull your kneecaps up, and then maybe try to push your shoulders off of the blocks, maybe one by one. That's also a good exercise. So you don't have to lift your shoulders off of the blocks, but just not hanging into them. So try to become light on the blocks. If that could be an option to you, again, you can have your knees down. Then another option with the blocks is placing one at your hips and one underneath your chest. So you'll see this one is parallel to the front of my mat, and this one is in a 90-degree angle, kind of coming out of the middle of this block. But you'll feel where to put the blocks once you get into it. Okay, so this first block is going onto our hips, or just below, wherever feels comfortable to you. And then this block is going to hold our chest. And my blocks were way too far apart. But anyway, as you can see, I'm just chilling, lying here on my blocks. So then you can place your hands where they need to be. Remember that 90-degree angle. So you can see you take your hands quite far back. They're almost in line with this shoulder block. And then you can tuck and lift your toes. So you also get a feel of Chaturanga. So the 2-block option was just nice to get a feel for how it is to be in this posture. Maybe you've never been in this posture, so just letting your body know what you want to do, and so that your body can feel it out and can feel safe next time you attempt it. Okay, the next option would then only be one block, only the chest block. And again, know that you can keep your knees on the ground, nothing wrong with that. Okay, so only the chest block, and then from here, you can practice lifting up. And you can see, I don't know if you even could see, but I literally only lifted up, not even a centimeter. It's because I already positioned my block to be at 90 degrees. Yeah, so that is the exercises with the blocks. Then I'll show you a last little exercise you can do with a strap. Okay, so taking your strap, then just making a small loop. So the loop should be about shoulder width distance, not about, it should be shoulder width distance. So not measuring from the outsides of the shoulders, but just like the inside or middle of the shoulders. So you can see, there's my loop, middle of my shoulder, middle of my shoulder. Okay, then just make sure it's secure so it can't go looser. And then what you'll do is you put both arms through the inside of the loop, and then hook the strap on your upper arms. So this will help you with keeping the elbows into your ribs. So here it's very difficult to let your arms flare out, as you can see, because that's one of the first things that wants to happen. The moment you try to lower yourself down, the arms go out. So again, you can combine the strap one with some of the block exercises. You can do it on your knees. So I'm just showing you some little techniques. So take what you want and combine them and apply them just as you like and as would fit your body and your practice. Okay, so from high plank, and then here, what you want to do is isometrically. It's actually quite funny because it's the opposite of what you actually do in Chaturanga, but you're going to push your arms outwards. So you're pushing against the strap and the strap is pushing against you. Otherwise the strap is going to fall off, right? So this builds arm strength, but in a bit of a different way. It's actually quite a nice exercise. Okay, so I'm slightly pushing outwards, not like this, my elbows are still in, but with my arms. From plank, rolling forward, and then down for Chaturanga. This also is a little bit more accessible to me, or if I do this with a strap, I can hold Chaturanga for a longer time. Might not be the same for you, all of our bodies are different. So that's that for today's little tips and tricks. Thank you for joining me, and I really hope that you could get closer to your Chaturanga real soon. Also know that right now you are X hours away from being able to hold this pose, and it's up to you whether you do all of those hours in 1 month or in 6 or a year or 4. I'm not suggesting that you now go and do Chaturangas every single day for 30 days, not at all, but consistency is key. So if consistency for you is every single day until you get it done, cool. If consistency for you is once a week, once or twice a month, that's also okay. And like I said now, what makes this pose quite nice is that it already features in every single vinyasa flow. So every time you do a vinyasa class, especially if you do it like at home or online or whatever, then it's easy to quickly grab a block or strap and then try some of these modifications in your flow until you feel stronger and stronger, and then you can feel how it changes in your body. But yeah, so consistency is key, and be patient with yourself. Remember to look back and see how far you've come. So choose to look at how far you've come and be proud of that, instead of just looking at the way ahead and how far you still have to go. I really hope that this could help you get closer to your Chaturanga, and thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again on your mat soon.